that quiz that we presented to you just a minute ago on the last video documentation of this marriage study that our church is participating in. I shared with you on last video that this segment or these segments are part of what the Spirit of God has placed on the heart of myself as the pastor of the Greater Mount Corinth Church in Corinth, Texas. Placed upon my heart to deal with this very important subject involving the area of marriage. And on the last video segment, which was our first segment, we presented to you a quiz that asked several questions. It gave A, B, C, D answers, and the purpose of one of the purposes of this particular segment is examining the results of your answers. All right, so I'll just begin with examining your answers. Okay, and I'll be referencing, looking down at my guide here from time to time, and that's what I'll be doing when I look down, looking down at my guide. If your answer to question number 1 from the first video, if your answer was A, and your answer to even one of any other quiz question was an A, then congratulations. You are most likely to be in the passion stage. The more A answers you have, then the more deeply you're into the glorious, passionate honeymoon phase of your relationship. Fun and frolic now aren't even frivolous. Passion and spontaneity are the key elements of your relationship. Alright? If your answers included a few A's and mostly B's, then your marriage may be shifting from the passion stage into what's called the realization stage, when the real world and the real needs and desires and expectations, they intrude upon your little love nest. Now, if your answers included mostly C's and D's, then your marriage has probably moved even further along into the power struggles of the rebellion stage, or the busy years of the cooperation stage, in which raising kids, securing your future, and managing your home takes precedence over your physical or emotional passion. And it has in here that sometimes even hard-working couples are able to hold on to the honeymoon feeling long after the passion stage has ended. So if your answers include a lot of A's, but you've been married more than 2 years, have children, or are juggling lots of real-world responsibilities with your spouse, then you are one of the most fortunate ones or blessed ones, because you have been able to capture and to hold on to the passion that drew you together. And it has been a saying by many people that the honeymoon only lasts for a little while and then it's over. But as this book suggests, that your passion should be something that's not just evident in your early years of marriage, but it should be something that goes on for years. And even if you move on to other areas of your life, things change in your marriage, from being just a husband and wife to having children to having jobs. And these days sometimes you have to have 2 jobs, both husband and wife working, and the hustle and bustle of life presents itself to you in a whole new way. Sometimes if you're not careful, it can rob you of that, or those feelings of passion, those feelings of excitement and joy that God desires for us to have, not just in our meeting moments, but for the entire duration of our relationship. I'm going to page through a couple of these chapters that's in here, they suggest several ways of how married people can maintain their passion. It gives some ideas on how you can keep your marriage alive, keep it fresh. And I believe that people who love or have loved one another, even if things begin to grow cold, I believe that if you work hard enough, you can regain and recapture some of those same feelings that you once experienced early in your relationship, and now we reference as the passion years. Let me just deal a couple suggestions of how you can maintain passion in your relationship. It says, remember the glories of the passion years. I think many times we get so busy that we forget some of the things that draw us to one another. I think that we allow things to rob us of remembering who our spouses really are and what we love so much about them that drew us into a relationship with them. So it's very important that we make a special effort to remember those years, remember those experiences, think about those moments and talk about them often, about how and what caused each of you to have butterflies in your stomach, caused each of you to shake and tremble as you came into one another's presence, and all those things that cause those emotions and those joys. Those things need to be remembered and also discussed often, because those were some of the contributing factors of what caused the two of you to come into an experience that's called love. Another thing it says is that you develop a rock solid sense of we. Develop a we-ism in your relationship, rather than becoming isolated and becoming individuals who live in the same house. But learn how to include one another in your daily functioning. Learn how to consider one another. Learn how to always participate with one another as partners in life, partners in relationship, and even, yes, partners in ministry. Let's not drift off into doing our own thing, because you can do that and allow the years to go by and look back, and you'll find out that you have totally forgotten or totally become unaware of who the person in whom you live with now really is, because we've been being busy doing our own thing. So they suggest that we maintain a good sense of we-ism in our relationships. Then it goes on and says that we need to build trust, respect, emotional closeness, learn your partner's native love language. What is your partner like? What kind of words does your partner respond to that make them feel good? What makes their heart melt? What romances your partner? All those things are your partner's love language, and you ought to know how to speak the language of your partner. Then it goes into other areas such as expand your sexual vocabulary through touch, pleasure, and a new sense of the erotic. It talks about things such as planning touch dates. Okay? You need to get the book. Talks about other things in this chapter. Talks about the old thinking and the new thinking. It says, don't fall for these marriage-busting myths that newlyweds often believe. Some of you may have just got married. Don't fall for these myths such as Married couples have a dull sex life.